ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වරට SLT 4G වෙතින් දැන් Pure TV නරඹන්න. ඉදිරියටම ගෙන යන SLT 4G.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, systemic inaction. Ex-Intel head tells Easter PCOI of zero action taken by security chiefs on Badiuddin links to Zahran Hashim. The church responds. Colombo Archdiocese calls Harin's comments a fabrication of his own imagination as Harin digs deeper. A feather in our cap. Army commander says it only took Sri Lanka 50 days to eradicate community transmissions. Bowled over. Pakistan's national cricket team gets hit by mass COVID-19 sixer as 10 players test positive. All this and much more coming up on this Tuesday, the 23rd of June 2020.
Nava sunlight sakura. Then Dikukal pavathina sakura mal suandin.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A very good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Shanella Fernando. Moving on to your top stories for tonight. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry today recorded a testimony from a former intelligence head where questions were raised regarding the recent claims by DIG Ajit Rohana that a dilution of prior intelligence warnings was carried out. During the testimony, the Commission was told how information on assistance provided by Rifkan Badiuddin to Zahran Hashim in escape to India to avoid arrest was provided to the country's defense chain of command, but no action was taken, nor was the subject taken up for discussion at subsequent intelligence meetings.
During an earlier testimony at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the Easter Sunday attack, DIG Ajit Rohana alleged that although intelligence information had been provided prior to the attacks, the information had been diluted by certain individuals. In order to further probe this allegation, the Commission summoned a former intelligence director yesterday to record a statement. However, due to security reasons, his identity was not disclosed to the media. He told the Commission that in determining the value of information received, intelligence operatives must analyze factors such as who, what, when, why, how and where. Hence, based on these factors, he stated that the prior intelligence warning was determined to be of high value. He added that the question of who had been answered with the inclusion of the names of Zahran Hashim and his 5 accomplices, and the question of what is clearly answered with the information warning of a suicide attack, while the answer to when was given with the information warning of an imminent attack. With that, he added that security personnel on alert for extremist threats could easily have determined the answers to why and how from the contents of the intelligence warning. The former intelligence director also stated that with the question of where being answered by the inclusion of the Indian High Commission as a target, it is extremely rare to have a total of 6 questions answered in a single piece of information received. However, he stated that a second document that was added to the initial warning document, including further facts, had served to dilute the information as alleged. The witness added that although a warrant was issued for the arrest of Zahran Hashim following a clash involving his group and another extremist organization in Kathankudi in 2017, he had avoided arrest by fleeing to India via boat. The witness also revealed that it was former Minister Rishad Batiuddin's brother Rifkan Batiuddin who had assisted Zahran's escape to Kashmir. In a further revelation, the former Intel director stated that direct support for the National Tawhid Jamaat organization, which was started by Zahran Hashim and Abdul Razik, was provided by the former minister Rishad Batiuddin. Further, he stated that following Zahran's return to the country in December 2018, he had informed the then Army Commander Mahesh Senanayake of the details of Zahran's escape to India, as well as the prominent figures who had provided him support to do so. The witness also revealed that he had also informed the Defence Secretary and the Chief of National Intelligence of these facts by letter on the 22nd of March 2019. He added that although intelligence coordination meetings were held on 26 March as well as on the 2nd and 9th of April, no National Intelligence Council meetings were held throughout that period. The Commission was also told that although the Defence Secretary and the National Intelligence Chief were aware of Rifkan Batiuddin's involvement, the issue was never taken up for discussion. He also told the Commission that with intelligence coordination meetings held once a week every Tuesday, with the State Minister of Defence in attendance, operational procedures ensured that the President was also kept informed of all facts at all times. The Commission then asked the witness to reveal who were the officials in positions of responsibility during his tenure. In response, the witness stated that the list included the then President Maithripala Sirisena in his position as the head of the National Intelligence Council, Kapila Vaidyaratna, and Hemasiri Fernando as the Secretary of Defence, Army Commander Mahesh Senanayaka, National Intelligence Chief Sisira Mendes, and State Intelligence Head Nilantha Jayawardena.
The Archdiocese of Colombo has denounced the recent remarks made by former parliamentarian Harin Fernando, who accused the Cardinal of playing politics to deny the United National Party votes of the Catholic community. Issuing a statement, the Archdiocese of Colombo expressed grave concerns about the speech made by former MP Fernando, calling it a total fabrication of his own imagination. However, today the United National Party Badulla candidate offered a somewhat half-hearted apology at a meeting today, which added more fuel to fire where he stuck to his guns and instead only apologized for misrepresenting the Cardinal's title alone. The Archdiocese of Colombo has responded to former Minister Harin Fernando's recent criticism of Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit. In an official statement released yesterday, the Archdiocese expressed shock while condemning the statement made by the UNP Badulla district candidate during an election rally held recently. The statement adds that the derogatory comments against His Eminence were totally unfounded and uncalled for and have been used for cheap political gain. The statement reads, quote, "He has treated His Eminence with derision when he stated that because of His Eminence, the UNP candidate Sajid Premadasa had been deprived of the Catholic votes during the last presidential election. This is totally a fabrication of his own imagination," unquote. The statement also reminds the public of the leadership provided by the Cardinal during a period of political turmoil, adding that it was solely due to his efforts that clashes between different communities were avoided in the immediate aftermath of the Easter Sunday attacks. The Archdiocese of Colombo urged those concerned to take steps to correct this situation with immediate effect. Concluding the statement, the Archdiocese says that it will always be impartial in its political stance and stated that they are committed to all efforts related to the upholding of the country's law as well as unity amongst all religions and freedom of all. Meanwhile, the former parliamentarian today expressed somewhat of an apology, but not quite.
Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit හිම්පානන්ට මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සමාව භාජනය කරනවා අගරද ගුරු එක අදරද ගුරු කියලා කිව්වයි කියන එකට එච්චරයි මගේ අතින් වෙච්ච වරද. හැබැයි වැරදි දේ වැරදි ලෙසත් හරි දේ ලෙසත් දකින්න අපිට අපේ දෙමව්පියෝ ගන්නලා දෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මට ගැහුවයි කියලා මගේ කට වහන්න හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today reiterated his condemnation of Samagi Janabalavege candidate Harin Fernando's remarks targeting the Archbishop of Colombo, stating that he is suspicious of the sincerity of the Samagi Janabalavege leadership in handling the issue. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended a public event in Polgahawala today.
අමුමුදෙක් සංජාති පක්ෂ දෙකට කැඩිලා එයා කිනි කාට බැන ගන්නවා මේ දවස්වල නම් දකින්නේ අර කවුද එතුමා මේ කරපු කතාව කියලා දැකිය. කිසිම ආගමික නායකයෙකුට ගැරහීම මොකද යුතු කාර්යයක්. ඉතින් මේවට උල්පන්දම් දෙන්නේ ඔහුව ඒ තැනට මෙහෙවන්නේ කවුද කියන එක එතුමාගේ පක්ෂේ නායකත්වය දැනගන්න ඕන. මට නම් සැකයි. පොදුපත් කියනවා මේකෙන් අපහාසයක් වුණා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ පක්ෂ නායකයාට හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ ඒක අපහාසයක් කියලා. වුණා නම් අපි කියන්නේ මේ ඇගේ හැප්පිලා රිදුනා නම් තමා වෙන්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ මේක දැක්කියා අපි අපහාසයක් විශ්ේ. එතුමා කවදාකවත් දේශපාලනය කරේ නැහැ.
The Election Commission revealed that over 47,000 postal votes applications submitted for the looming general election have been rejected. The Commission noted that most of these were applications from government officials not supposed to be deployed at polling stations on the day of polls. The Election Commission has received 753,037 postal voting applications for the 2020 general election. Of these, 7,585 were accepted by the Election Commission, while 47,430 applications were rejected. The Commission noted that most of those rejected applications were from government officials belonging to categories which are not intended to be deployed at polling stations on the day of polls. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Election Commission Mahinda Deshapriya expressed his views on the manner in which the election and the counting process will take place in the current context.
මේ ඡන්ද විමසීම නිලධාරීන්ටත් ඡන්දදායකයන්ටත් අපි හැමෝටමත් අභියෝගයක්. උඩ වැඩි වෙලාවක් වෙනදට වඩා ඡන්ද පොලේ යනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට අපට 7යි 4යි කියන එක 7යි 5 කරන්න වෙයිද? ඒවා අපි තවමත් මේ පෙරහුරු තියලා සාකච්ඡා කරන්න යනවා. මම අපි 8ට ගණන් කරනවාද 8:00 ගණන් කරනවාද කියන එක තාම තීරණයක් නැහැ.
He also expressed his views on how election campaigns should be carried out.
මේ වතාවේ කොමිෂන් සභාව තීරණය කරා කාර්යාලවල නීති හැටියට කටවුට් ගන්න බැරි නම් බෑ තමයි. අපි මේ කාර්යාලවල පක්ෂේ නමයි සංකේතය ඡන්ද ලකුණයි ප්‍රදර්ශනය කරන්න දෙනවා. ඒ අපේක්ෂකයන්ට කුඩා වතුර රැස්වීම් තියන්න පුළුවන්. උපරිම 100යි කැඳවන්න පුළුවන්. ලීෆ්ලට් එකක් ගහලා ගෙයින් ගෙට බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. රැස්වීම් තියෙන තැන්වල කටවුට් එකක් ගහ ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපේක්ෂකයා යන වාහනේ විතරයි එහෙම කොඩියක් ගහලා අංකය ලකුණ ප්‍රසිද්ධ කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Meanwhile, a rehearsal of the vote counting process was held in Galle District Secretariat premises this morning. It took place under the close supervision of Galle District Returning Officer Somaratna Vidana Patirana and Deputy Election Commissioner of Galle K.U. Chandalal. Meanwhile, a group of supporters of the Samagi Janabalavege had organised a program to distribute equipment to the Vatara Hospital in Polgas Ovita today in celebration of the 96th birthday of the late President Ranasinghe Premadasa. However, the police arrived at the scene and took steps to cancel the program, saying it was organised in violation of election laws. The equipment were taken back by the supporters. In the meantime, a complaint was lodged with the Badulla election office yesterday that a jeep displaying the party logo and preferential number of Udita Lokubandara, a Badulla district candidate of the SLPP, is being taken in a procession. Following the complaint, steps were taken to remove the jeep from the procession. Our cameras also caught the sticker with the preferential number and the party logo being removed. Elsewhere, another jeep belonging to a UNP candidate of the Kegol district, Sandit Samarasinghe, was taken into custody by CID personnel in the Kegol division yesterday for travelling around the area without the candidate. The driver of the vehicle was released on bail after being produced before the Kegol Magistrates Court today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that it is an opportune time for the country to commence production in a number of sectors due to the limiting of imports of several non-essential items due to the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking to members of the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Industrial and Enterprise Development, the head of state added that industrialists should overcome the challenges they face in winning shares in the domestic and global markets. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa held a discussion with members of the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Industrial and Enterprise Development at the Presidential Secretariat today. Minister of Industries Vimal Veeravansa, Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara and Ministry Secretaries participated in the discussion. Highlighting that the government apparatus is geared to assist the industrial sector, the President emphasized the importance of maintaining the highest possible level of standards in every manufactured product and services provided in the country. The head of state added that he expects industrialists to showcase results by manufacturing an array of goods ranging from brooms to medical drugs domestically. The President reiterated that the government's policy is to discourage the imports of agricultural products while advising farmers to grow locally. President Rajapaksa stated that the government's steady policy provides an environment for farmers to understand the market demand in a similar manner like industrialists do. More news on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back in more news. Western Province DIG Deshabandhu Thinnakon revealed today that steps will be taken to seize all assets of drug racketeers and underworld figures under the Money Laundering Act. Further, the DIG stated that movable and immovable assets equivalent to any drug-related profits found in bank accounts will be seized as part of the new action taken in the government's war on drugs and the underworld.
The police special task force today arrested 3 Nigerian males and 1 female Ugandan national in Mount Lavinia who were allegedly engaged in a credit card fraud racket carried out on social media. The suspects were reportedly engaged in a racket that involves scamming unsuspecting victims by convincing them that they had won cash prizes in an online draw. The STF seized 15 Sri Lankan credit cards that were found in the suspects' possession. It has also been reported that the suspects were currently on bail for similar charges. Accordingly, the police has requested any possible victims of this scam to file a complaint at the closest police station. Meanwhile, in another operation, the STF Organised Crime Prevention Unit also apprehended another underworld figure, this time in Kinindivela, who had been identified as a close associate of notorious underworld figure Seethawa Kapodda. STF personnel were able to recover 2 shotguns that were found in the suspect's possession. The suspect was remanded until the 30th of this month after he was produced before the Pugoda magistrate. In the meantime, the police department held a media briefing today where its operations against the underworld and drug racketeers was taken up for discussion.
කොයිතරම් අද්‍රව්‍ය අතරනු ගත්තත් මේ ගැටලුව තියෙන්නේ මොවුන්ගේ මුදල් එළියට එන්නේ සිම්පත් නිකුත් කිරීමේදී විශාල නියාමනයක් නැහැ මේක. ඒ නිසා ඉදිරියේ ඒ සම්බන්ධ ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගැන
මුදල් ප්‍රමාණය කීයේ වුණත් මින් ඉදිරියට රුපියල් 1000ක මුදලක් හරි මද්‍රව්‍ය සම්බන්ධයෙන් කාගේ හරි ගිණුමට බැර වෙලා තිබ්බොත් මුදල් විශුද්ධීකරණ පනත යටතේ ඒ ගිණුම් වලට බැර වෙච්ච සෑම කෙනෙකුගේම බැංකු ගිණුම් අත්විඳීමට සහ එයින් උපයාගත් මුදල් වලට සරලන ඔවුන්ගේ චංචල හා නිශ්චල දේපල සියල්ල රාජසන්ත කිරීමට පියවර ගන්න. මේ සහ විශාල මුදල් ප්‍රමාණයක් පරිහරණය කරපු සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධ කල්ලිවල සමාජිකයින්ට සහ මද්‍රව්‍ය ජාවාරම් පිටුපස්ස සිටින ව්‍යාපාරිකයින් හෝ වේවා කුමන තරාතිරම පුද්ගලයින්ගේ හෝ වේවා සියලු දේපල රාජසන්ත කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අවශ්‍ය පියවර ගන්නවා.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva states that it took Sri Lanka only 50 days to eradicate community transmission in the country after the country has been free of the virus within society since the 30th of April. Meanwhile, in news just in, a further 29 more positive cases have been detected among a group of arrivals from India who were in quarantine. With this latest figure, the recovery rate now stands at 78.1%, while the total cases so far now stands at 1,980.
The Valisara Navy base, which has been in total isolation for almost 2 months due to the outbreak of COVID-19 among Navy personnel, reopened today as per safety guidelines issued by the Director General of Health Services.
අද දින මෙම කඳවුරේ අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා සහ රාජකාරී ආරම්භ කිරීමට නායක හමුදාපතිතුමා උපදෙස් ලබා දුණු ලැබුවා. ඒ වගේම අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඉදිරි දින කිහිපය ඇතුළත මෙම කඳවුරේ අනෙකුත් අංශවල සහ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවල රාජකාරීනුත් ආරම්භ කරලා මෙම කඳවුර සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම විවෘත කොට එහි රාජකාරීන් නැවතත් කලින් තිබුණු ආකාරයට සාමාන්‍ය මට්ටමට ගෙන ඒමට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙවි කියලා.
So far, 786 naval personnel who were infected with COVID-19 have recovered and have been discharged from the hospital. Furthermore, no fresh cases among naval personnel have been confirmed during the past 4 days. In the meantime, the number of recoveries from COVID-19 in Sri Lanka increased up to 1,548, with 22 more patients recovering. The country's active cases now stand at 392. However, Sri Lanka confirmed a single infection yesterday after 2 straight days of no new infections. The patient has been identified as a foreign arrival from Maldives who is currently in quarantine. In a separate development, 217 Sri Lankans who were stranded in the United States were repatriated via 2 charter flights belonging to Emirates Airlines during the early hours of today. Furthermore, the repatriates were subjected to PCR tests at the airport premises. In the meantime, Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva commented on the current situation in the country.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පළවෙනි ආසාදිතයා මාර්තු මාසයේ 11 වෙනිදා සොයාගනු ලැබුවා. සමාජය තුලින් අවසන් වරට සොයාගත් කොවිඩ් ආසාදිතයා සොයාගනු ලැබේ අප්‍රේල් මාසයේ 30 වෙනිදා. ඒ කියන්නේ දින 50ක් වැනි කෙටි කාලයක් තුල ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ කොවිඩ්-19 සමාජය තුලින් තුරන් කිරීමට ඉතාමත්ම විශිෂ්ට ලෙස ඉවර කර ගැනීමට හැකියාවක් ලැබුණා.
Meanwhile, the Public Health Inspectors Union plans to launch a trade union action from the 29th of this month over a number of unresolved issues. Union President Upul Rohana stated that all PHIs will refrain from COVID-19, dengue and other communicable diseases and election-related duties as part of the campaign. He added that the trade union action is being launched due to the failure of the Minister of Health Pavitra Vaniyarachi in resolving the issues faced by public health inspectors, which were brought to her attention on various occasions.
කොරෝනා වෛරසය පැතිරීම වළක්වන්න සබන් යොදා දෑත් සෝදන්න.
Leader of the Tamil United Freedom Front, Vinayagamurthy Muralidharan alias Karuna Amman, has informed the Criminal Investigation Department through his lawyers that he is unable to provide a statement due to illness. His lawyers have told the CID that he is prepared to record a statement regarding his recent glorifying of Sri Lankan military deaths during his time as an LTT combatant at Elephant Pass once he recovers. Yesterday, Acting Inspector General of Police C.D. Vikramaratne directed the CID to launch immediate investigations into the controversial statements made by Karuna Amman. Accordingly, the Eastern Province politician was summoned to the CID headquarters to answer questions regarding his claims made at a meeting in Navadinveli last Friday. In our business news, the central bank's inflation report for May 2020 reported a drop in year-on-year inflation to 5.2% from 5.9% in the previous month. Drops were also recorded in food inflation to 11.1% and non-inflation, which declined to 0.8%.
Headline inflation, as measured by the year-on-year change in the National Consumer Price Index, decreased further to 5.2% in May 2020 from 5.9% in April 2020, according to the central bank's May inflation report. The report cites the drop as mainly driven by the statistical effect of the high base that prevailed in May 2019. Meanwhile, food inflation declined to 11.1% year-on-year in May 2020 from 12.2% in April 2020, and non-food inflation also declined to 0.8% in May 2020 from 1.1% in April 2020. According to the report, the change in the NCPI, measured on an annual average basis, increased marginally to 5.2% in May 2020 from 5.1% in April 2020. Meanwhile, the monthly change of NCPI was recorded at 0.4% in May 2020, mainly due to increases observed in prices of items in the food category. Accordingly, within the food category, increases were observed, mainly in the prices of vegetables, fresh fish, dal and coconut oil during May 2020. However, it is noteworthy that prices of big onions and coconuts reported significant declines during the month. Meanwhile, within the non-food category, prices of the items in alcoholic beverages, tobacco and narcotics, and recreation and culture subcategories also declined in May 2020. Further, core inflation increased to 3.7% in May 2020, from 3.2% in April, while annual average core inflation decreased to 4.8% in May 2020 from 5% in April 2020.
Sri Lankan stocks closed 0.72% higher today following a rally after midday. The all-share price index advanced 37.57 points to close at 5,083.07. The S&P SL20 index of more liquid stocks climbed 1.63% or 36.22 points up at 2,257.57. Market turnover amounted to 1.61 billion rupees today, where 99 stocks gained while 68 fell. Here's a brief report on the market performance during the day.
Today we saw the market being up again for the sixth consecutive session, where we saw the ASPI moving up by around 36 points and then the S&P SL20 moving up by again another 36 points. So the market is sort of in a bull run at the moment. We saw turnover levels also spiking again over $1 billion mark. We've seen high turnover levels on a continuous basis. And then mainly the buying interest is coming into the banking sector counters. A strong local buying interest is there in Commercial Bank, HNB, Sampath are the main stocks that the investors are interested in. However, we are seeing continuous foreign selling in the market. Today also we saw a net foreign outflow of around 310 million rupees, and outflows are mainly coming from Hemas, John Cares today, and we saw those stocks being among the high turnover levels today, and with that foreign level of participation was around the 25% to 30% mark. However, local participation is the more dominant sector in the market at the moment and is pushing the market towards the green territory.
The rupee closed stronger at 186 rupees and 55 to 65 cents to the US dollar today, while bond yields continue to fall in mixed market trade. The rupee closed at 186 rupees and 60 to 70 cents against the greenback yesterday. Now let's have a look at how the rupee traded against other major currencies during the day today. We'll return after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In your international news, South Korea confirmed that the country is facing a second wave from the novel coronavirus as 46 cases were confirmed today. In response to the spike in infections, the World Health Organization stated that countries that have successfully controlled the virus are now seeing a spike in cases.
Mexico confirmed the highest daily death toll during the last cycle, confirming 1,044 fatalities. Furthermore, daily infections also stood at 5,343, as quarantine restrictions in the country were eased this month, providing some factories, offices and shops room to open. Meanwhile, South Korea, who successfully curbed the pandemic, confirmed that the country is facing a second wave, driven by small outbreaks that occurred during a holiday period in May. 46 new cases of infections were confirmed in the country today, while 17 cases were confirmed yesterday. In the meantime, Premier of the Western German state of North Rhine-Westphalia said that he is to put the Gütersloh area back into lockdown until June 30th, after a coronavirus outbreak occurred in a meatpacking plant. Gütersloh is the first area in Germany to go back into lockdown after the authorities began gradually lifting restrictive measures at the end of April. More than 1,500 workers at the meat processing plant tested positive for the virus, along with family members and 24 people with no connection to the plant. The World Health Organization meanwhile states that countries that have controlled the virus are now experiencing a spike in infections.
More than 8.8 million cases have now been reported to WHO, and more than 465,000 people have lost their lives. Some countries are continuing to see a rapid increase in cases and deaths. Some countries that have successfully suppressed transmission are now seeing an upswing in cases as they reopen their societies and economies.
As fears of a second wave developed, China conducted 2.34 million tests in a single day today to identify new cases within the country. A new outbreak occurred in the country after a formation of a cluster in a market in Beijing. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia says that it will bar arrivals from abroad to attend the Hajj this year due to the coronavirus, allowing only a limited number of Saudi citizens and residents to make the pilgrimage with social distancing measures enforced. The announcement means that this will be the first year in modern times that Muslims from around the world have not been allowed to make the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, which all Muslims aim to perform at least once in a lifetime. Meanwhile, in France, millions of children returned to school yesterday after more than 3 months of homeschooling due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As France entered a new phase of deconfinement on Monday, all pupils in primary and secondary schools up to the age of 15 are able to return, following a gradual reopening in recent weeks. All children over 11 years old, however, will need to keep a social distance of at least 1 meter and will have to wear face masks.
In sports, the Pakistan Cricket Board confirmed today that 7 more players of the national side have tested positive for COVID-19, in addition to the 3 players who were diagnosed with the virus yesterday. Accordingly, Fakhar Zaman, Imran Khan, Kashif Bhatti, Mohammad Hafiz, Mohammad Hasnain, Mohammad Rizwan and Wahab Riaz have all tested positive for COVID-19. Shadab Khan, Haider Ali and Haris Rauf are players who were diagnosed yesterday. According to the Pakistan Cricket Board, 1 member of the support staff has also contracted the virus. Pakistan had named a 29-member squad for the tour of England set to start in August, but the positive cases have put the availability of players in doubt. The players who have tested negative will now assemble in Lahore on June 24th and depart for the tour on the 28th. They will also train and practice in a biosecure facility provided by the England and Wales Cricket Board. With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining. I'm Shanila Fernando. Good night.